Hello, everyone. I'm Wendy Martinez, past president of the American Statistical Association, and it is my honor to introduce Robert L. Santos, the 2021 president of the ASA. Rob Santos is vice president and chief methodologist at the Urban Institute. His expertise in quantitative and qualitative research on sampling, statistical analysis, and survey operations has enabled him to work across such policy areas as immigration and refugees, environmental issues, housing discrimination, travel behavior, elections, education, and health. He is especially proud of his work involving undocumented immigrants and other disadvantaged populations. Rob is an accomplished leader. He has held executive level leadership positions at the University of Michigan Survey Research Center and at NORC at the University of Chicago. He was a partner of Newstats LLC in Austin, Texas. He has served on panels of the National Academies and was a member of the National Center for Health Statistics Board of Scientific Counselors from 2017 through 2020. He's also served on the editorial board of the Public Opinion Quarterly and held elected board positions in the American Association for Public Opinion Research, or APOR, the Washington Statistical Society, and of course, the American Statistical Association. Before serving as ASA president, Rob served as president of APOR and as vice president of ASA. One of my APOR colleagues told me that Rob was always there to help and mentor her while she was an APOR officer, which illustrates his passion for building community and helping others. He is a fellow of the ASA and recipient of the ASA's Founders Award. At the present time, Rob is President Biden's nominee for director of the US Census Bureau. If confirmed, he will be the first person of color to hold the permanent director's position. Rob is a wonderful colleague and a thoughtful leader. He challenges us to be diverse and inclusive, to understand the needs of others, and to work together to build communities. Rob has served ASA during a challenging time. His calmness in stressful times and his wisdom have been so very valuable to the ASA and to me. It is my pleasure now to introduce the 116th president of the ASA, Rob Santos.
Hey, statisticians, welcome to JSM, and thank you for sharing some time with me this evening. It's been an honor and a privilege to be able to serve you as president of the American Statistical Association, at least through August of this year, or the beginning of August. There is some uncertainty about my presidency because of the nomination process for the US director, but I have absolutely enjoyed it, and it's been a privilege and an honor to serve as your president. I can tell you that it's been wonderful working with you, the members, through committees, through your sections, chapters, and even just discussions with members and committees, as well as it's been a real pleasure working with the esteemed ASA board, with our executive director, Ron Wasserstein, and with the ASA staff. They are all, and you are all, true professionals. Now, a special treat for me has been the opportunity to do monthly blogs through the President's Corner of the AmStats News. It's provided me a venue for showing how values and my life experience can help you be a better statistician, at least in the ways that I think is better. My objective has always been to promote critical thinking about who you are as a statistician and how you can best contribute to our profession and our society. And a big part of that is by helping each other and by helping our community. So for this address, I'm going to continue my thought journey, and I invite you to come along for the ride. I'm not presenting formulas, no statistical analyses, no flashy data viz, not even a simple bar chart. I'll leave that to the wonderful statisticians that we are who are presenting at JSM. Instead, I'm going to speak from the heart, as I tend to do, about things that I'm passionate about and that I believe relate to statistics in a very real way. Specifically, I'm going to talk about how the role of self involves itself in statistics and your statistics career. By self, I mean the collection of your life experiences, your personal values, and your sense of who you believe you are. It's not something that's part of any statistics curriculum that I'm aware of, but I believe it's essential in helping you to be the best possible statistician you can be. I'll tell you a few stories that help you illustrate or that help illustrate three specific ideas that have driven my career over the past 4 decades. My objective is to help you think deeply about how you can leverage who you are to become an even better statistician. So let's begin. The first theme I'd like to offer focuses on allowing personal life experience to motivate different perspectives that add value to research. As I've stated in other settings, I highly value different perspectives when dealing with a research issue, especially a challenging problem. In its simplest form, the concept is easy to understand here. People interpret a stimulus differently depending on who they are, which includes their life experience. Take 2 people flying to DC. One can sleep peacefully through the entire flight because they've flown many times. They've been there and done that. While someone else who's never flown before could be seated next to them, shaking in fright to no end, thinking that something unfortunate is about to transpire at any second. I recently blogged in the August Amstat News about how researchers, not having lived in the community under study, could not reconcile the seemingly contradictory findings of a community survey that they conducted. But the community members easily explained how the results made sense. And you only understood it if you lived there and experienced what they had. It made total sense. Now, the story that I'm about to tell is one that reflected my own life experiences growing up in San Antonio, plus my time at University of Michigan in grad school, hanging with my fellow Latino students. And they were all deep thinkers about research and research processes. But it's also a story that features what I consider one of my most notable professional failures. And believe it, folks, we all have professional failures, whether we want to admit it or not. But it's time I shared that with you in this broader context and with this address. So the year was 1999. I'd recently joined the Urban Institute for the first of my 2 stints there. I was really having a ball working on all kinds of research topics, basically playing in everyone's backyard, as we statisticians love to do. I attended the 7th Conference on Health Survey Research Methods, and it was sponsored by the CDC. The venue was a conference center in Williamsburg, Virginia. I was to be a discussant on a session entitled Racial and Ethnic Populations, Cross-Cultural Considerations. This was an era where CDC and NIH were just starting to require adequate representation of women and minority populations in their funded research as part of the effort to recognize the value of health disparity research. The survey research world was in the relatively early stages of recognizing the importance of a cultural and racial equity lens in research to more accurately and reliably capture the experiences of the underserved. Now, my session was scheduled for the first morning of the conference. I knew most of the renowned survey researchers from academic, commercial, and government sectors in the nation were in attendance. By then, I had 2 decades of experience participating in most aspects of survey research, from design to implementation to data processing to statistical estimation, report writing, and so forth. I understood and had seen firsthand something then that I still believe to be the case now. and that's this. The framing, the design, the execution, the analysis of research necessarily reflects the cultural lens of the researchers who sponsor and design the study. It's really hard to make meaningful change with that too. Even back in the late 70s, my Latinx graduate research colleagues at the University of Michigan Survey Research Center had recognized that the standardized survey questions were sometimes not very relatable to Latino populations. It's because they were conceived and developed in the context of a predominantly white society of the time. I knew this was much more, I knew that there was much more that could be done in cross-cultural research methods, but not many voices were offering this perspective at this time. So my contribution to that session was going to be that of presenting a new vision, or not a new, but a real alternative vision that used an equity lens to reconsider various aspects of survey research methods. Now, the language of today's equity lens was not used back then. Instead, I was going to speak about how Western culture or Westernized culture had propagated the constructs, the measures, and so forth associated with health research in a relatively narrow fashion that reflected how one segment of a diverse society perceives them to be. So, for instance, separate sets of health scales currently asked and back then asked about physical health and mental health. Yet we know through research that Native Americans, some Southeast Asians, and generally indigenous cultures do not separate the two constructs. So they'd have problems answering the questions. Other examples persist to this day. The longstanding SF-36 features a question about mobility on a typical day, specifically asking, quote, about moderate activities such as moving a table, pushing a vacuum cleaner, bowling, or playing golf, close quote. Well, bowling and golf were then and still are overwhelmingly white male activities. Pushing a vacuum cleaner could easily be perceived as a stereotypical female activity. And moving a table, I'm not going to go there. There were a number of other examples I'd prepared for the conference to illustrate this different lens, but I'm not going to recount them here. The point is that I used my personal experience to offer my esteemed colleagues a different way of looking at things in the context of cross-cultural research, to understand that just as the victors get to write history, well, they also get to conceive of research frameworks, of constructs, and of survey measures and survey instruments. And if you view research methods with this different lens, you'll see it all around in our work, even today, in our editorial boards that make decisions, our study sections that make decisions, tenure review groups, hiring decisions, research designs, research implementation, and so forth. Now, this was over 20 years ago, and research methods have improved some, but we still have a long way to go. So for that conference, my final insight was going to be that when you put all this together, it often leads to the most vulnerable populations being measured the least accurately. So when the session finally started, I felt eager to have this conversation. I was raring to go. Now, it would have been wonderful if I had laid out this vision calmly and clearly, but fate intervened. At the session, when it came time to vocalize the provocative message to my esteemed colleagues, I quite literally froze. For the first and only time in my life, I experienced a panic attack in the real full sense of the words. I believe it was the physical venue that triggered it. The conference center, you see, featured this circular type of arena seating with the audience cascading upwards and upwards, and the presenters at the bottom. And I'd never been in that type of setting. So when I got up to speak, I got up and looked out and upward and saw all these faces surrounding me, peering down at me. My pulse raced, my mouth went dry, my tongue thickened. I could barely get my words out. Honestly, I don't know if what I said was very coherent at all. Oops. I just remember thinking to myself, so this is what a panic attack feels like. Unfortunately, I lost all sense of time and I stumbled through some of my talking points. Ultimately, the session chair had to come tap me on the shoulder to stop me talking. Now, I'm sure it was a painful experience for the audience to witness, just as it was for me to experience. But interestingly enough, some of my message got through. It was delivered to the audience, because afterwards the commentary was pretty spirited and it was directed at me specifically. The voices in the audience I heard essentially condemned the perspective that I offered as unsubstantiated and totally inappropriate. By this time, I had composed myself enough to speak a bit more coherently, and I did my best to respond, but the damage had been done. I'd failed miserably in my attempt to get my colleagues to view health survey research from an alternative perspective. Anyway, this was my interpretation of what happened. But my story doesn't end there. The session ended and then it segued into a group lunch. I remember prominent survey researchers coming up to me at the buffet table and telling me in no uncertain terms that they totally disagreed with my commentary. And I sat in a group, those that would have me, and tried to engage in substantive and social conversation. Honestly, I wanted to crawl under a rock, but I decided that I needed to stick it out for the next 2 days, regardless of how painful that experience was. And that's exactly what I did. Now, although I regret this failure, I also valued the experience and I learned from it. I had done something that I'd always wanted to do at that point in my career, or up to that point. I had used my life experience to communicate an alternative perspective to my colleagues, a perspective motivated by cultural sensitivity and cultural relevance. I wasn't there necessarily to, disparage and invalidate practice of the time, but instead to offer a vision of the role of culture in health survey research methods in the hopes of ultimately making improvements so that we're all measured more accurately and do more cogent, relevant research. Different perspectives can offer clues and guide improvements in the development of survey methodologies and other research methodologies and statistics. One-stop shopping, say, asking a factual question in a single standardized way, may certainly preserve instrument reliability, but it can invite measurement error in a mixed cultural setting. The fact that I had a panic attack was indeed unfortunate, but looking back, the experience helped me to become a more effective communicator and a more effective statistician. I've always believed that lived experience can be used as a vessel of insight. Yes, we all have biases, but we can all have biases and still use our life experience to gather insight and guide our careers as statisticians. So that's my first step. The second one, I want to consider another part of self, our values. Now, my values are foundational to who I am as a statistician. They guide me in framing issues, in synthesizing information to reach decisions. My AmStat news blogs have focused on values such as helping people, being vulnerable, and of course, fairness, also known as equity. The story about my conference presentation, by the way, illustrates the importance of life experience and culture, but it can also be viewed from a vulnerability lens. Yet it's another example of how a single experience like that can be viewed through different perspectives, each yielding their own insights. So for my next story, what I'm going to focus on is a value that is near and dear to me, scientific integrity. But I'll do that with a twist. Scientific integrity in research typically involves the use of standard best practices in the design, collection, and analysis of data to address a research question. It's about conducting research in a way that infuses trust and confidence in the methodology and findings, right? Well, I believe that hidden within this concept is a thread that weaves together the insights being sought, the research objectives, with the methods being used. And that thread is scientific ethics. Now, ethics in science is an important area of scholarship in its own right. I'm certainly no scholar in that field, but for my purpose here, a scholarly deep dive on scientific ethics is unnecessary. Let's just use our common perception of what that might be. My story begins a few decades ago, and it involves the Brazilian government. I was working as vice president for statistics and methodology at NORC in Chicago. One day, I got a call from a foreign minister at the Brazilian embassy who wanted to meet with me about sponsoring a large research project. So I hopped a plane, traveled to DC, got a cab to the embassy row, and I presented myself to the beautiful Brazilian embassy. It turned out to be a rather formal affair, held in an exquisitely decorated office where I was seated on a couch with the official. We had afternoon tea. After the obligatory chit-chat, he proceeded to speak proudly about the robust economy of his country. He did not understand why people in the United States didn't appreciate Brazil's value as an economic power and an economic partner to the US. So we wanted to commission a large-scale population survey to find out the depth and breadth of knowledge held by the US population about his country's economy. Most of all, he wanted to know why people felt the way they did about his thriving economy. Now, any commercial business person would have been delighted to secure a high-dollar survey project like this. And it would have been quite easy for me to secure the deal right then and there. But I couldn't do that. Even with my limited knowledge of public opinion in the US, I knew that relatively few people in our country had much knowledge about or even cared about other countries. We tend to focus on ourselves, on our own nation. So what I did is what I thought was the right thing to do. I explained that really wasn't necessary to conduct a large-scale expensive survey to understand what proportion of people knew about the Brazilian economy. I explained that a sample survey would end up showing a small fraction of the US adult population would not have, or only a small fraction would have enough knowledge about the Brazilian economy to make any meaningful contribution to the knowledge that he sought. In fact, it would be better to do some carefully designed qualitative studies to explore in-depth knowledge of people among at least those with some knowledge about Brazil to share. And that would cost far less than a scientific survey that would not provide the answers to the why questions that he really wanted to answer. But instead, a survey would provide answers related to how much, or in this case, how little. I concluded by advising that a qualitative study would suffice for his needs. Also, a qualitative study could certainly inform subsequent research, including a rigorous survey if that was deemed beneficial, but he really needed to start with qualitative. Now, the whole time I kept thinking about a saying that my mentor, Leslie Kish, himself a past president of the American Statistical Association, would tell us frequently. He'd say, A survey that is not worth doing is not worth doing well. So we ended the meeting shortly thereafter and promised to discuss next steps. And unfortunately, I left NORC for the Urban Institute shortly thereafter, and I really don't know what transpired after that. But I felt that I maintained my own scientific integrity by providing advice that was in the best interest of the client, even if it meant less or even no business for me and my organization. Sure, we could have conducted a superbly designed, scientifically rigorous, high-cost survey. In a sense, such a survey would have been really retained a high integrity, scientific integrity, because of the high standards and high data quality that would have been used. But if survey statistics fail to address the key research questions, then at least in my way of thinking, scientific integrity in its fullest sense would not have been preserved. More importantly, when it comes to embracing scientific integrity, I see a real connection between what is good science and one's own personal values. Of course, people's values differ from one scientist to the next. And while we often share a set of common values, there can also be a subjective element. It's hard to turn down an award if you're hurting for business, but sometimes it's the right thing to do. And that is just one area where we see a role of self affecting who you are as a scientist. That's why it's important, by the way, for organizations to fully articulate their values, the values that guide their mission and their work. And it's important to understand your own personal values and how those add to or conflict with those of your organization. It's good to be able to look in the mirror at the end of the day and know that you were true to yourself in terms of your values. That applies to a variety of careers, but especially to statistics. That's my second story. So for my final theme, I wanted to say a few words about the role of scientific objectivity. Now, as scientists, we generally agree that data should be allowed to tell their own story, and that we as statisticians and scientists are the stewards of the data, and we allow the data to speak for themselves. I recognize and highly value that aspect of being a scientist, but inevitably, we need to understand that who we are as individuals, along with our life experiences, culture, race, ethnicity, language, gender, and values, create the lens from which we view life and we view our science. This lens affects what we consider to be objective, as well as how data are interpreted. The easiest example of this lies in the area of data science and machine learning. By now, most of us have heard about the use of arrest data in the application of machine learning for predictive policing. It simply replicates the past reality of racial ethnic profiling. Or you may have heard the long-used medical risk assessment calculator that nudges expecting Black or Latinx moms to consider C-sections simply because they were not white. But my final story on this topic is going to be a bit more personal. Last year, I faced the challenge of dealing with the Fisher Award controversy as the president-elect. I do not intend to relitigate here. I'll talk about it, but I'm not going to relitigate. I want to use the controversy to speak to the issue of scientific objectivity and how it relates to a sense of self. The essence of the controversy came down to whether or not to retire the name of an award based on this highly accomplished statistician's role in promoting the science of eugenics. The debate over the award raged for months on social media, in our ASA community forum, and across a number of committee and board meetings. I had longtime colleagues, friends, and respected statisticians whom I greatly admired, who were on both sides of the debate. Some encouraged or even demanded research, hard data, hard evidence of Fisher's intent and behavior in the area of eugenics, much like what would be expected in a judicial proceeding. And there were others like myself who framed the controversy in the context of our values. What does it say about us as a professional community to have a statistical award associated with a known eugenicist? I understood the arguments on both sides. Because of my life experiences and values, I was quite passionate about my own position. And perhaps I was too passionate, but that's who I am. I facilitated and participated in a number of deliberations on this issue. I can tell you they were uncomfortable on a number of levels for all involved in decision-making. But those conversations needed to occur, and they were supposed to be painful, or you're not digging deep enough into the issue. So we all listened to and respected anyone who voiced their perspectives, and even when there was strong disagreement. Now, much attention was focused on the appropriation of hard objective evidence that Fisher used eugenics to harm people. That is certainly one framework for scientific objectivity. I preferred an alternative framing. As a person of color, I understood the cruelty that had been imposed on African-American women in the US in past decades, all in the name of eugenics. And because of that, from my perspective, retiring the name was appropriate because of this statistician's being an early leader in the eugenics science. To me, the association mattered, and that was it. The various perspectives offered by those who participated in deliberations all managed to use scientific objectivity, but we just did it in different ways. We drew upon our values and our life experiences to frame the controversy, to process the information available, and then to come to our decisions or our conclusions. As you know, the Fisher Award name was retired. As much as we tried, we failed to reach consensus, and I think that was okay. I believe that this process was a direct result of alternative perspectives on how to frame the issue and to process the evidence to reach a conclusion. And so I believe this is a good example that illustrates the role of self in scientific objectivity. So today I've talked about three aspects of self and their role in statistics. There were life experience, scientific integrity, and scientific objectivity. Our life experiences and culture influence how we interpret data that we are given to analyze and the conclusions that we draw from it. Who we are influences our scientific integrity. The same research scenario can result in alternative approaches based on variation in how we do the right thing. Who we are can even influence our scientific objectivity, how we frame the problem, as well as analyze the data and arrive at conclusions. And as I've written in AMSTAT News this year, there are many other aspects of self that guide us as statisticians. Ultimately, science relies on critical thinking, and that flows from scientists using everything about themselves, including their values and life experiences, to develop different perspectives and new insights. Yes, scientists and statisticians are a diverse group. In statistics, we have mathematical statisticians, data scientists, data visualization experts, applied statisticians, and much, much, much more. We contribute to a wide range of hard sciences, social sciences, the health arena, the policy arena, et cetera, et cetera. Statistics as a field of study is a science whose genesis stems from formal logic and mathematical theory. Increasingly in our statistical community, we are realizing and appreciating the value and perspectives brought by demographic diversity with respect to sex, gender, race, ethnicity, language, culture, and so forth. Our values and life experiences, and indeed who we are, can help make us better statisticians. So I believe there is a role of self in a productive statistics career. And I invite you to contemplate how that applies to your own career. I believe it'll make you a better statistician. Now, I'd like to conclude with a special note of thanks for all who have supported me as president of the American Stat Association, as well as those who've supported me on my nomination to be the next director of census. As I stated in my Senate committee hearing, I would not have the opportunity to be in this leadership position and serve you if it were not for the unwavering support of my family. So I'd like to give a shout out to my wife, Adela, with whom I would not be the person who I am. You know, we've been married for 48 years now. We're celebrating the 48th anniversary in a couple of weeks. And I also want to thank my two adult children, Emilio and Clarissa, who have been my personal source of resilience and inspiration. And my grandkids, I just adore, and I thank every day that I have with them. As I've said in many forums, I am a work in progress. We all are. But it's my family, friends, and colleagues who inspire me to improve myself through things like critical thinking, living my values, allowing myself to be vulnerable, and always, always, always trying to pay it forward. And with that, I thank you very much.
It is my honor and privilege to read the 116th President's citation to Robert L. Santos for applying considerable skill and expertise in survey methodology to understanding problems of disadvantaged populations and to addressing a wide range of policy issues, for contributions to the National Academies and to the National Center for Health Statistics, for serving as president of two major organizations, the ASA and APOR, for tireless commitment to building diverse and inclusive communities, and for passionate devotion to the importance of the stories told by data and statistics. Now we will move on to the awards portion of this program. With once again having a virtual conference, we've asked our award recipients to provide us with their thanks and appreciation. Now let's see what they all have to say.
Hi, I'm Evan Boyle, a postdoctoral scholar at UC San Diego. This year, I was awarded the Pride Scholarship, and I am super grateful to be one of the first recipients of this award for my organization, the Queer Science Society. Thank you to the ASA, and if you want to learn more about our activities, please visit our newly launched website at queersciencesociety.org. Thanks.
My name is Sevida Mosaferi, and I'm a fourth-year PhD candidate in the Statistics Department at Iowa State University. I'm the recipient of Edward C. Bryant Scholarship of ASA in 2021. I have done a lot of researches in survey statistics and censuses with their relationship with Bayesian statistics. Particularly, I have received my second Master of Advanced Studies in Survey Statistics from the University of Maryland, College Park. Edward C. Bryant Scholarship is a prestigious award for me, which could emphasize on my research areas. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Xiaofei Zhang. I'm a PhD student at Iowa State University. It's my honor to get this year's Edward C. Bryant Scholarship for outstanding graduate students in survey statistics. This award is a recognition of my work during my graduate study, and it really motivates me to get better in my postgraduate career. Thanks again for this special honor.
Hi, my name is Kevin Kumisky, and I'm honored to have been awarded the Causality in Statistics Education Award. I'd like to give a huge thanks to Jeff Whitmer for the nomination and for the great feedback on our work. I'd also like to thank my West Point colleague, Krista Watts, for collaborating with me on this work. Thank you, everybody, and have a great JSM.
Hi, my name is Jason Roy, and I'm a professor of biostatistics at Rutgers School of Public Health. So I'm here virtually to accept the 2021 Causality in Statistics Education Award. I'd like to thank the award committee, as well as Nandita Mitra and Susan Ellenberg for putting together the nomination package. This award is meaningful to me as I've learned a lot from reviewing the educational materials from previous winners. And so it's a great honor to be listed among them. Thank you again, and congratulations to the winners of other ASA awards.
My name is Elizabeth Chase, and I'm a graduate student in the Department of Biostatistics at the University of Michigan. This year, I'm receiving the Gertrude M. Cox Scholarship for 2021. I'm delighted to be receiving this award, which is named after a famous woman statistician and continues to support the progress of women in statistics and biostatistics. Thank you so much.
Hi there, my name is Annie Hong, and I'm honored to receive the Gertrude M. Cox Scholarship. And I'd like to just give a shout out to the awesome female students who have shown me so much help and encouragement throughout the application process. They really made me realize I am part of a strong and supportive community. And thank you so much.
Hi there, my name is Natalie Gaska, and I received the honorable mention for the Gertrude Cox Scholarship Award. I'm so grateful to have received this recognition because it highlights that there are so many ways that we can contribute to our field, including through outreach and communication efforts and through interdisciplinary collaborations. Thank you so much, ASA.
Hi everyone, my name's Taylor Mahoney. I'm a PhD student in the Department of Biostatistics at Boston University, and today I'm receiving an honorable mention for the 2021 Gertrude Cox Scholarship Award. I'd like to thank my fellow PhD students and faculty in our department, especially my three nominators and mentors, Dr. Jose Dupuy, Dr. Lisa Sullivan, and Dr. Joe Massaro. I definitely wouldn't be here without the constant support and encouragement from the three of you.
Hi, I'm Lynette Hudeberg, and I'm here with my co-author, Diana Garbinski, and we are excited and honored and grateful to receive the award for Best Paper for the Journal of Statistics Education for a paper we co-wrote called Data Visualization, Bringing Data to Life in an Introductory Statistics Course. And the reason that we're so excited and honored and even humbled by this award is that in working together, we felt that it was really important to get students involved in statistics quickly as possible. And one of the best ways is through the growing field of data visualization. It gave students the opportunity to find something that they were interested in and dive right in and learn statistics along the way and learn more about that topic. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, my name is Dave Demetz. I'm currently a professor emeritus of biostatistics at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. I have the great pleasure of being the recipient of the 2021 Will J. Dixon Award for Statistical Consulting. Janet Wittes, a close friend and colleague, nominated me for this award. I'm very proud that she did so. This award probably reflects the fact that for 50 years I've been involved in design, conduct, analysis, interim monitoring, publication, interpretation of clinical trials, all of which required statistical consulting throughout my career. I met Will Dixon once as a graduate student, and clearly he was an inspiration, but I never had the opportunity to work with him during my career. At any rate, thanks. I'm very thankful for this award and proud to receive it.
Hello, my name is Aaron Carroll, and I'm a professor of pediatrics and chief health officer at Indiana University. I also spend a fair amount of time doing science communication work, and I'm honored to be this year's recipient of the ASA Excellence in Statistical Reporting Award. I want to give special thanks to David Allison, Dean of the School of Public Health at Indiana University Bloomington, who nominated me for this award. Helping the public to understand the science of statistics and its role in public life is one of my passions, and it's rewarding to be acknowledged for doing so. Thank you again.
Good day. I am Wayne Fuller. I am a professor emeritus in the Department of Statistics at Iowa State University. And I am the recipient of the ASA Mentoring Award. This award means a great deal to me because it is perhaps the most personal of the awards given. And there's an implicit recognition of long time activity. I do not recall hearing the word mentoring when I began my career. The word was most often used advisor. I should say that being an advisor is a two-way street. I always learn something from the students for whom I acted as advisor. I thank those who permitted me to be an advisor, formal or informal, solicited or not. I thank Jay Kim for nominating me, and I thank those who wrote supporting letters. No one receives an award without the work of others. Thank you.
I am Linda Young, recipient of this year's ASA Mentoring Award. I am grateful to Nelson Dransk and Denise Abreu, who nominated me, and to my staff and former students who wrote supporting letters. Numerous people have mentored and continue to mentor me, which is not always an easy task. I encourage each of us who have benefited from being mentored to pass it forward.
Hi, I'm Qian Guan. I graduated from NC State University and I'm now working at Facebook.
Brian Rich from NC State.
Hi, this is Dipankar Bandyopadhyay from VCU. We also have Eric Leber from Duke University.
We are thrilled that our paper on periodontal recall intervals was chosen for the 2021 Outstanding Statistical Applications Award from the ASA. Thanks to Shanjin Xie for nominating us for the award, and the committee for selecting our paper, and NIH for supporting this work. Thanks everyone, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Good evening, one and all. I'm Mike Cutler, a Rollins Professor of Biostatistics at the Emory University Rollins School of Public Health. I'm honored and pleased to have been selected the recipient of the 2021 Carl E. Peace Award for outstanding statistical contributions to the betterment of society. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my nominators, Chris Nachtsheim from Minnesota, John Wehrman from Johns Hopkins University, Dick Levinson from Emory University, and Dean Jim Curran from Emory University. I would be remiss if I didn't also mention my family who's sitting here with me watching this program. May peace be with you. Good night.
I'm Larry Lesser, UTEP professor, and I am floored with the Waller Award for a distinguished teaching career sent in by a peer without my knowing, so I was stunned when Jeff Whitmer called to say I'd won. With Jennifer, Amy, Dennis, and Lee writing letters supporting me. My colleagues, students, and spouse, I must say, helped me grow in so many ways to make teaching a calling, a journey, an art. Thank you all with all of my heart.
I'm Amelia McNamara, and I'm receiving the Waller Education Award. The previous recipients of this award are so inspirational to me, and it is a great honor to join their ranks.
I'm Sally Keller, the recipient of the Samuel S. Wilkes Memorial Award. I would like to thank the committee for their deliberations, and Allison Wilson and Stephanie Shipp, who championed my nomination. Receiving this award has taken me on a journey down memory lane, remembering the colleagues and organizations I have touched, and how they collectively shaped my career and accomplishments. My thanks and appreciation goes out to all of them too.
I'm a mathematical statistician work at FDA. The paper selected for UNO Award is part of my doctoral work. I'm so grateful to the award committee for selecting our work. Thank you.
I'm Thomas Matthew from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. I want to thank the UNO Award committee for selecting our work for the award and Professor Dulal Bhaumik for nominating our paper.
I'm Yunus Bebu from George Washington University. I'm very pleased to hear about the UNO Award for our paper and to know that our work has relevance in the analysis of interlaboratory data.
Well, I want to just give my congratulations to all of our award recipients. They are all very deserving of these high honors. In years past, we included the founders and fellows at the end of this session, so we shall do so this evening as well. We will first acknowledge the winners of the ASA Founders Award that recognizes members who have rendered distinguished service to the association. Typically, no more than 2 awards are granted annually, and the award does not have to be granted every year. The individuals selected will have served the association for an extended time, usually in a variety of leadership roles. Next, we will hear from our 2021 ASA Fellows. The designation of ASA Fellow has been a significant honor for nearly 100 years. To be selected, nominees must have an established reputation and have made outstanding contributions to our profession. Let's roll the tape, so to speak, and hear from them now.
Greeting, colleagues. I hope that you and your families are all doing well during these challenging times. It is an honor to receive the Founders Award. I thank the ASA for all that they do for our profession and for thinking of me for this wonderful award. It's particularly delightful to share the virtual stage with Kathy Monty and Xiuming He this year. Congratulations to them. I look forward to seeing you all in person next year.
Hello, everyone. I'm Xiuming He, Professor of Statistics at the University of Michigan, a proud recipient of the Founders Award this year. I'd like to thank the anonymous nominator and award selection committee for their trust in me, and I certainly need to share the honor with many of my colleagues and friends who have worked with me over the years to serve our profession together. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Catherine Monty, and I'm so honored to have been selected this year as a recipient of the Founders Award. The citation for my award recognizes my contributions to the Boston chapter, the biopharmaceutical section, the Advisory Committee on Continuing Education, the Fellows Committee, and my 2 terms on the ASA Board of Directors. Thanks to many folks for the opportunities to serve, and especially to Nick Horton for nominating me. Enjoy the meetings.
Good evening. I'm Walter Ambrosius from Wake Forest School of Medicine. It's an honor to have been elected. I'd like to thank Ralph D'Agostino Jr., who nominated me, and Matt Mayo, Leslie McClure, and Paula Roberson for their letters of support. I'd also like to thank my colleagues at Wake Forest and elsewhere for all of our collaborations. Finally, I'd like to thank my parents, my wife, and our wonderful kid. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kelly Archer, Professor and Chair of the Division of Biostatistics in the College of Public Health at The Ohio State University. I am honored to be elected as an ASA Fellow, and I would like to thank my dissertation advisor and colleague, Stan Lemonshaw, for nominating me for this award.
Greetings, my name is Vipin Arora, and I'm truly honored and grateful for being selected as an ASA Fellow for 2021. And thanks to Paul Gallo, who was my nominator, who recently retired after a long and distinguished career in the industry. So thank you, Paul, for all your help and guidance. And I also want to thank the ASA Fellow Committee and the chair who have this daunting task every year to review highly competitive nominations and come up with their best recommendations. So thanks to the committee again. At this time, I would like you to join hands with me to make sure that we are providing all our help and guidance to the statisticians who are joining or starting their career, and especially the students who are going to be coming to this career very soon, to provide all the help and guidance to them to make sure that they are ready for this challenge and they become our new leaders. So thanks again, and I'm hoping to see you all at the GSM next year live. Until that time, stay well, stay healthy, and bye now. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Amin Bhattacharya, and I'm privileged and honored to be a new fellow of the ASA. Currently, I'm a senior director of biostatistics at Alexion Pharmaceuticals. I'd like to thank the ASA for the recognition of my service to the profession as a statistical leader, collaborator, and a researcher. I take the opportunity to profoundly thank Dr. Alex Dmitrienko for his continued support and commitment in putting forward my nomination for the fellow. And finally, my sincere gratitude to the well-wishers of ASA leadership across sections and committees, and to all of those who have supported my nomination. Thank you, ASA.
Hello, my name is Julia Bienius. It is a great honor to be chosen as a Fellow of the American Statistical Association. I'd like to thank my nominator, Pat Cantwell, the people who wrote letters on my behalf, and the Committee on Fellows who selected this year's Fellows. I've been a statistician effectively since the early 1980s, when I first did some statistical analyses for a research colleague in the Department of Psychology when I was in college. I've been interested in it ever since. I pursued a science career along with statistics. I've had the fortune to work in government, academia, and now industry. I feel I've been very blessed in the opportunities I've had over my career, and I'm very grateful to the people who have mentored me and helped me along the way. I thank you again for this honor, and I wish you a wonderful evening.
Hello, everyone. It is an honor and a privilege to be elected as a fellow of the American Statistical Association. I couldn't have done it without the support of colleagues and friends and collaborators and mentors who over the years have found time to invest in me and my career. And I'm very thankful, and I hope to be able to return the favor to the next generation in the future. So thank you once again.
Hello, my name is Pam Braun, and I'm a professor at the University of Michigan in the Department of Biostatistics. I'd like to thank my colleague Alex Sadaka for nominating me this year, as well as the three individuals, Jeremy Taylor, Hugh Shear, and Peter Thal, who wrote letters in support of my nomination. It is a pleasure to be included among this year's ASA Fellows.
I'm so honored to be elected as ASA Fellow. I would first like to thank the nominator and those who wrote the reference letter for me. I'm also grateful to the Committee on Fellow for this recognition, to my family for its support, to my colleagues for the opportunity to work with and to learn from them, to my mentor and friends for their support and friendship. Thank you.
Hi, this is Jin Chen, a professor at the University of California in San Francisco. I'm overwhelmed to be selected to receive this honor. I would like to thank my nominators for their continuous support, thank ASA for their recognition of my contributions, and thank my family for their love and support over all the years. I will continue my efforts in causal inference with applications in dentistry, tobacco control, and other biomedical fields. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Victor de Oliveira, and I am a professor of statistics at the University of Texas in San Antonio. It is a real honor to be named Fellow of the American Statistical Association, and is also a big encouragement to keep doing the work I have been doing. Also, I want to thank all the people who supported my nomination, in particular, Chris Wickel, and the people who wrote letters on my behalf. Best. Bye.
Hi, this is Stephanie Ekman from RTI International. I'm very happy to become a fellow of the American Statistical Association. I particularly want to thank Paul Beatty from the Census Bureau, who nominated me, as well as those who wrote recommendation letters. I also really want to thank Frauke Kreuter and Colum Omerketig, who have been fantastic mentors to me over the years. So thank you, everybody. I'm very thrilled with this honor.
Hi, my name is Elena Yerosheva. I'm professor of statistics and social work at the University of Washington. Becoming a fellow of the ASA this year is very special to me because the meeting was supposed to be in person in my hometown in Seattle. Now we are remote, but I would like to send special thanks to Tenzi Love for her work on putting this nomination together. I would also like to thank all those who wrote the letters of support. Thank you, and I hope to see you in Seattle before too long.
I'm Melody Goodman, Associate Dean for Research and Associate Professor of Biostatistics at New York University School of Global Public Health. I'm extremely honored to become a fellow of the American Statistical Association. I want to thank Dr. Rebecca Batensky for nominating me and for being a great mentor from the moment I stepped into her office as an applicant for the doctoral program in biostatistics at Harvard.
Hi, my name is Matt Hyatt. I am professor of biostatistics in the School of Public Health at Georgia State University. I want to say thank you to Beth Chance for the nomination and to Nick Horton, Mark Becker, and Pat Clark for your support letters. I'm very much honored to be inducted as an ASA Fellow. My career path as a collaborating biostatistician has brought me much meaning and joy, and it's very nice to be acknowledged for my contributions. Thank you.
It is an incredible honor to be elected as an ASA Fellow. The first time I left Taiwan at age 22, it was to come to America as a graduate student at UNC Chapel Hill. After that, my career took me to other places in America before coming back home in Taiwan. The memories of my American experiences stay with me. I'm humbled to be recognized by American Statistical Association. Finally, I would like to thank my nominator and later writers, my teachers and professors, my current and former departments and colleagues for support and encouragement. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kathy Irvin with the U.S. Geological Survey. I would like to thank the section on statistics and the environment for their nomination, and specifically William Christensen, who helped this nomination be successful. Tony Olson, Jennifer Hooding, and Philip Dixon were also very supportive, and I would like to thank them. And it means a lot to me, particularly during this year, to have such a recognition by an organization that I've been involved with since I was in graduate school.
Hi, this is Mi-kyung. The ASA Fellowship is definitely the greatest honor that I have received so far. I want to thank the nominator and all those people who supported the nomination. I also want to thank everyone who was there with me during my whole career, my advisors and my colleagues, my mentors, and also my family, my parents back in Korea, and my husband and my 13-year-old daughter. And I'd like to also thank the ASA.
Hello everyone, I'm Jian Kang. It's my great honor to receive this prestigious recognition. Thanks very much to ASA. My special appreciation goes to Professor Tim Johnson for nominating me and all my letter writers for their great support. Also, I would like to express my gratitude for the Department of Biostatistics at the University of Michigan, where I have the opportunity to work with so many amazing students and colleagues. I will continue to enjoy my journey of statistical research and teaching. Thank you all.
I'm Stas Kalinikov, a service statistician at Abt Associates. I'm an active member of the Service Research Mandate section where I held multiple offices and the founder of the Text Analysis Centers Group. I am honored to be the ASA Fellow of 2021. I'm grateful to David Banks, who was my nominator, and to all the colleagues in the industry in the field of service statistics who supported this nomination. Thank you.
My name is Earl Lawrence from Los Alamos National Laboratory. I'd like to thank Derek Bingham from Simon Fraser and Carrie Myers from Los Alamos National Laboratory for doing all the work to nominate me. The award is special just because it feels great knowing that I have colleagues who think well enough of me to support my nomination. Thanks.
Hello everyone, I'm Yan Li, a professor at the University of Maryland, College Park. I'm honored to be elected as ASA Fellow 2021. I very much appreciate the tremendous time and effort from my nominator and my supporters. Thank you for acknowledging my interdisciplinary research in survey and biostatistics. Collaboration with caring and supporting colleagues are the key to my careers and will continue to be my future endeavors. Thank you.
This is Fang Liu, Professor of Statistics at the University of Notre Dame. I am honored and grateful to be chosen as ASA Fellow. Thanks to the Fellow Selection Committee, to my nominator, and the professors who wrote the letters of support. This honor means a lot, not only to me, but also to the Young Stats program at Notre Dame. Thanks to my colleagues, mentors, collaborators, and students who have helped me in my journey to get to this point.
This is Bo Lu from the Ohio State University. I would like to give a shout out to my mentor, Paul Rosenbaum. It would be impossible for me to get to this point of my career without you. I also want to thank those who helped through the nomination process: Steve McKirkin, Stan Lamershaw, Tom Love, and Wei Shen. Thank you very much.
Wei Wen Miao. I teach at Haverford College. I'm honored to become an ASA Fellow. I want to thank the STAT Education section, my presenter Catherine Hoverson, and those who wrote letters of endorsement for me. I also want to thank my collaborators, especially Joe Gasworth, who introduced me to the field of legal statistics and has supported and worked with me for many years.
Hi, this is David Olson from Novartis. I'm immensely proud to receive the ASA Fellowship Award this year. I wanted to mention and thank my great colleague and mentor, Frank Bretz, who nominated me for this award. What I really like about this award is it's a reflection of my work with many colleagues and collaborators over the years. Without them, I really would not have been able to achieve this honor.
I'm Steve Pearson, Director of Science Policy for the American Statistical Association. I'm humbled and honored by this distinction. I especially thank the Government Statistics section for sponsoring my nomination, and to those who supported it through letters and lots of editing and reviewing. Thank you, ASA.
Hello, I'm Soumya Rao. I'm a biostatistician with the Boston University School of Public Health and a part-time consultant. I would like to thank my nominator, Robert Glenn, letter writers Barry Grobard and Mark Lichtman, and the Fellows Committee. It is truly an honor to be selected an ASA Fellow. It means a lot to me that my work with vulnerable populations worldwide has been acknowledged and appreciated by my peers. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jassi Khan, and I'm a professor of statistics, data science, and political science at Yale University. I'm honored to be elected a fellow of the American Statistics Association. I'd like to thank my recommender, Bin Yu, the ASA, and my reference writers. I work on developing methods for causal inference and machine learning and their applications to the social and behavioral sciences.
Good evening. I'm Kimberly Sellers, a statistics professor at Georgetown University with a secondary appointment at the U.S. Census Bureau. I want to thank my nominator and recommenders, as well as the American Statistical Association for including me as an ASA Fellow, recognizing my significant advancements to the field of count data modeling, as well as my efforts to increase diversity and inclusion among marginalized individuals in the statistics and data science communities. This is indeed an honor. Thank you.
Hello everyone, greetings to everyone. I am Ram Shanmugam, Professor of Statistics and Honorary Professor at Texas State University. I thank Professor Karan P. Singh for nominating me for this awesome honor. Professor Singh is highly respected by peers. He exemplifies the best in colleagues. Before nominating me for this awesome honor, he commented many times, "Ram, you are genuine, derive beautiful and applicable mathematical expression, and develop innovative statistical methodologies." It's a great honor to be chosen an ASA Fellow. This selection is based on my breakthrough research in creating excellent diagnostic methodologies for borderline disease status in patients, pioneering modifying medical intervention during data collection, creating super efficient algorithms to compute non-central distributions, theorizing with Shanmugam's numbers, exemplary leadership to create statistics programs, consulting centers, innovative teaching and dissemination, providing exemplary service to the statistics profession. Thanks everyone for this selection of me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Rui Song, Professor of Statistics at North Carolina State University. I'm thrilled to be an elected fellow of ASA this year. I'm very grateful to my nominator, Professor Hongtu Zhu at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, my letter writers, and the ASA Fellow Committee. Thank you all so much.
I'm Lisa Sullivan, professor in the Department of Biostatistics at the Boston University School of Public Health. I want to thank my colleagues for nominating me for this very prestigious award. It means so much to me to be nominated for something I truly love doing. It's an honor to be part of such a wonderful department in a school. And it's also a privilege to work with so many amazing, passionate, and incredible students every day. I know they will use their statistical skills to change the world. Thank you.
My name is Eric Vance, and what becoming an ASA Fellow means to me is that I hope it gives me and my ideas more credence. And so more people might implement programs for educating and training statisticians to become effective interdisciplinary collaborators, and more institutions will create stat labs to promote collaboration to harness the extraordinary potential of statistics and data science. And I also hope that becoming a fellow will help in my tenure case.
My name is Olga Vitek. I am faculty at the Curie College of Computer Sciences at Northeastern University in Boston. I work in data science, bioinformatics, and computational biology. I am truly honored to be named Fellow of the ASA because this is an important recognition of applied and interdisciplinary research.
Hi, I'm Lily Wang from Iowa State University. I'm so honored to become a new fellow of the ASA. I want to give a big shout out to my nominator, Dr. John Stavkin from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Thank you so much for your nomination, John.
Hi, my name is Xiao Wang. I'm professor of statistics at Purdue University. It is truly an honor to have been selected as a fellow of the ASA. I would like to thank the ASA for recognizing my contributions on research, education, and service to our society. Under the leadership of the ASA, let's make statistics as the center of modern data science.
Hi, my name is Xiaopei Wang. Being elected as ASA Fellow is a great milestone of my career. I would like to give a big shout out to Dr. Jianwen Kai from UNC Chapel Hill, my nominator, and the ASA Fellows Committee, and to my mentor, colleague, and student at Duke, UNC, Mayo Clinic, and our institution, and to my family. Without their support, I would not have achieved what I did today.
Hi, I'm Mark Daniel Ward from Purdue University. Many thanks to John Baylor for nominating me to be a new ASA Fellow. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jim Wendelberger from Los Alamos National Laboratory, and I was nominated by Michael Hamada. Thank you very much, Michael. And there was input from my wife, Joanne. Thank you also. And I'm very proud to have received this award, having to worked my whole life in statistics. I'm excited and very happy to have it. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Hong Mei-Xiang from the University of Memphis. I'm very honored and excited to become an ASA Fellow. There's so many people I would like to thank. I appreciate the committee's recognition of my contribution to the world of statistics. I'm truly thankful to my mentors for their great support and help over the past many years. Thank you all so much.
My name is Yichuan Zhao. I'm humble and honored to be selected as an ASA Fellow. I would like to thank the nominator and support letter writers for their full support. My deep appreciations go to my colleagues, wonderful collaborators, and many excellent graduate students for the joint work.
Well, that's it, folks. This is live again, and we'd like to just congratulate all of the winners, the fellows, the Founders Awards. So Rob, do you want to give them another round of applause?
With my crooked finger and all.
Well, Rob, did you want to say anything in closing before I say my piece?
Yes, I wanted to prime folks for what Wendy's going to announce, which is going to be really special, by offering you a bit of my talent and aging myself too. So I'm going to tell you, I'm so glad we had this time together. It's Carol Burnett, for anybody who doesn't know. Take it away, Wendy.
Okay, well, I don't have any talent, so we're just going to have to see what the other fellow statisticians and data scientists have to give us at the talent show. Hopefully I got that right this time. I think it's at 7 o'clock, and check your JSM program to make sure. I went to the talent show last year and it was a lot of fun. And if it's the same way, I think you get to participate as the audience, but it was a lot of fun. And it's amazing how talented statisticians and data scientists are. I mean, not only do we do fantastic statistics, but also we have a lot of talent. Again, not me, but others. Okay, so thanks again for being in this session, listening to all the award winners, and of course, Rob's excellent speech. We still have a couple days left of JSM, so stay with us and enjoy. And hopefully we'll be in person next year. So plan on 2022 and we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.